Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is the start of, excuse me, a huge series that I've been working on. It's the ABCs of money. And what that means to me is what we would call a foundation. And what better way when you're growing up? I mean, I want you to think when you were a little kid and a younger student, I guess you could say, like, what was the founding foundations? Probably your number charts, but also your ABCs, right? And so today I'm going to bring to you the ABCs of money. Each letter is going to have a different meaning, I guess you could say, a different word, a phrase that we're going to use, and what we're going to describe is that of what I came up with so far. So today we're going to start with the letters A, B, and C. We're going to try to do 3 per video. That way it keeps it a little limited and it isn't a huge 45 to an hour a minute video. So today we're going to start with A, and the first one is A, and what I used for A was the word accountability. When we discussed the word accountability, we discussed the definition, which the technical definition, I'm going to read it right here, is the fact or condition of being accountable or responsibility. When it comes to money, we as a consumer, you could say, are expected to be responsible with our finances. With the high inflation, the gas price is still very high, and other factors such as rent, mortgage, groceries being overpriced, it seems almost like impossible not to feel 100% responsible at this time. It's very difficult, I would say. I see it in myself as well, too. You know, groceries are outrageous, and, you know, there's some days that I'm even thinking, you know, how are people supposed to be hold their self accountable for their finances when everything is so expensive? It's a very tough thing that we'll get into in the future for sure. What else was I gonna say? So I recently had a couple of clients, actually, I'll get to this point of the word accountability, bringing this up immensely, that word, they've actually used it a couple times. It went something along the lines of this, and I'm going to read you just a couple things here. Let me pull it up. Brian, I need accountability. Ooh, excuse me. Right on the fly, right? Brian, I need accountability. This is the mix of 2 different people saying this. So I need someone, they're driving me. I think I can get started, but I'm not following through. They're admitting that they're not following through. Both of these people brought it up recently. One of them said, I pay off this credit card, but can't seem to shake off my debt. And I'm currently overspending like crazy on things at the grocery store I don't even really need. Or you're buying more than you think you need. That's kind of what inflation does, to be honest with you. You don't even realize it. I shop for our family 99% of the time, groceries. And I think every week, you know, lately I've been finding more and more ways to save money. You know, $10 here, $20 there at our grocery store every week. But it's expensive still. You know, I would have loved to see my new plan now with where I'm doing, if you look at my previous video, trying to shop at Meijer and Aldi to save money each week. I would love to see what it was last year before inflation was outrageous and 8% or 7% or whatever it's at now. But it comes down to accountability, guys. Hiring a financial coach for you may be what you need if you resonate with a lot of this and saying, you know, my accountability stinks, kind of. But the mindset and accountability also starts with you and also your priorities. Priorities is a big word. So that's just something to think on for letter A, is accountability. So we'll dive right now into B for budgeting. I know how many people hate that word, right? It's scary, isn't it? But here's the reality, right? Budgeting can save you not only money, but it can save you time and decrease your anxiety. Hear me out. Starting a simple beginning budget will look something like the following. It doesn't have to be crazy. I want you to create a simple spreadsheet. For some of you, that'll be a Word document, or an Excel document, or a Google Sheet. Or you can just sign into a free app. I personally like EveryDollar's free app. Dave Ramsey has a nice app set up through that. And there's a couple other ones. If you want to message me, I can inform you of that. So within that budget, I want you to set up your basic expenses and income. It doesn't need to be pages and pages long. Just your main bills, your mortgage, your rent, your groceries, your gas, your car, some credit cards, Show me your income on the right side. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it has to be something to get on paper or on an electronic device so you can start looking at it and realizing what's going on. So why does it save you money? When you actually see what you're spending and have it organized, you start to build a habit, you all. We know the word habit, right? That habit allows to bring you control on your money. Now when you spend, when items come out of the account, and before you know it, your overspending and lack of organization will begin to decrease. Trust me on this. But here's the thing. Habits take a long time to set up, you all. And you have to be consistent. If you don't stick with the budget, you're going to spiral right back down. And you'll most likely be in your old habits. It goes back to one of my posts on this week on Instagram about practice. How I took a golf lesson and my short game was terrible. But I had to keep practicing. It's the same with the budget. It's the same. If you just set a budget, read it, and say, ooh, this looks great, I can do this, and then forget about it for a month or two, you're going to go right back where you were. So hopefully that's helpful. And then C is one of my favorites. I put it as, there could have been so much. Cash flow, there could have been cash management. I put it as credit, y'all. How many times have you heard you don't need credit? Debt is dumb. You don't need this to do this. I'm here to tell you some credit is needed. Not a ton, but some. I'm not telling you go out right now and like open a bunch of credit cards, take out loans, but without any credit, I can promise you, unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars cash laying around, you will need to show the ability to pay back debt before you're approved for major purchases. It's just a fact, you know. When you have no credit, bad credit, okay credit, or great credit, it can be something that you can build and repair, but also use to your advantage. Without great credit, I personally wouldn't have been able to get 2% rate on my car a couple years ago. It's a fact. Many years ago, we bought our first house. Shout out Diane. And because of our credit and having a nice down payment, we were able to get a pretty low rate. And now we refied a few years ago when it was even better. But still, we moved in comfortably. We didn't have to worry about certain things and certain factors like that. Obviously, having too much debt and credit can sometimes be a burden. But having credit should be looked at as a powerful thing to have, you all. Because your worries of making a move, if need be, down the road will be less. And then paying off that debt obviously isn't going to go away. It's not great having debt, but we're going to get into that coming up in a little bit on a different letter. But that's what I wanted to get started on. That's the ABCs. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to go all the way through the alphabet. And this one was A, B, and C for accountability, budget, and credit. I hope y'all found this helpful. Shout out to me in the comments what you thought of the video. If you need, or if you know somebody that needs to see this and thinks it would really help them, or if it helped you, give me a like, subscribe, send it to them, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Have a wonderful day.